Hello and welcome to Newsroom. I'm your host, Chris with the CHRILLCAST, and today we're going to be talking about a very important topic. Before we do that, make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel because I know you guys love the channel that we have here for you. So let's get on with Newsroom. All the news you choose, and I can't seem to get the right color here. That's good. We'll just go with that one. Okay. It's from last week. New day, new poll. All the news you choose. Newsroom. What do you want to hear about? In first place, we had should you buy a PS Vita in 2022 at 46%. In second place, we had digital games are not consumer friendly at 21%. At 13% third place, we have what's it like doing a gaming podcast. In fourth place for a tie, we have automatic multi-platform banning is problematic, and will Nintendo make an acquisition in 2022? Answer's probably no on that one. All right, so let's get into it. PlayStation Vita. For those that don't watch our live podcast consistently, I've talked about this on many occasions. The PS Vita is my favorite gaming handheld ever. And it's, in my opinion, better than even this gaming handheld, which I don't quite care for as much as most everybody else does. I'm not the biggest fan of the Switch. I can honestly say I don't play it that often. There are some great games on the Switch, and I will play those games, but PS Vita is my favorite handheld console to play ever. And there's quite a few reasons. One being that they have really good, it's just a good form factor, good size for playing. Secondly, remote play on the PS4. So let's just break into a few things. Should you buy a PlayStation Vita? That's a good question. Well, do you own a PlayStation 4? Do you like having this size console to play with instead of even the Switch Lite is big compared to the Vita? I think we've got that. Let me pull that up. Switch Lite versus PS Vita. Yeah, see, even compared to the Switch Lite, the PS Vita is still smaller. So, just for the record, and it's got an OLED screen, but so does the Switch now. So, I guess that doesn't matter that much. But from a size comparison, in my opinion, this is like one of the absolute perfect gaming handhelds from a size comparison. Okay, let's get back to it. So, the PlayStation Vita is now, let's see, 2011, 2012 timeframe. So, it's just about a decade old in the US where I live. And I can honestly say I got this thing pretty late, 2016-ish timeframe, 2017 timeframe. And 2 years later it was discontinued. But it has some really great games. In fact, it has over 1,300 games made for the system. There are 1,308 games for the PlayStation Vita. Top 10 best-selling games for the PlayStation Vita is Uncharted Golden Abyss, 1.5 million almost, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, Little Big Planet PS Vita, Persona 4 Golden, which I highly recommend anybody who's getting a PlayStation Vita to get that game because that game's awesome. Minecraft, Need for Speed Most Wanted. I actually did not try that one, but I've heard it plays really well on the Vita. Final Fantasy X, 10-2 Remaster. Killzone Mercenary. I've heard Killzone is a great game on here. Tearaway. I've also heard Unit 13 is really great. If you look at North American leaders, Unit 13 is one of the top 10. Along with Madden. By the way, mobile Madden on the PlayStation Vita, just something that the Switch still doesn't have. It's actually pretty good. So there's that. All right. So let's answer the question. Should you get a PlayStation Vita in 2022? I think the answer across the board, if you're clicking on this video, is yes. It's not like this thing is going to be available at a decent price forever. And if you're interested, I suggest you just get one. It's something that you can't really describe to somebody else who hasn't touched one. But the PlayStation Vita, I mean, it fits my hands. I've got some pretty big hands. Fits my hands pretty well. You can get these really nice cases for it, like I did, that add L2R2. It's easier to get it for the slim model, which is the PS Vita 2000. I have the 1000 model, the Wi-Fi edition. You can get a L2R2 case for that as well, but it's much more difficult to find one that's decently priced. They exist, they're out there, hard to find. But the 2000 model, there's even a Hori case that adds L2R2, L3R3 in a single case, and I do recommend that. Okay. Now, as far as pricing goes, it's all over the board, but you see anywhere from $200 down to like bids as low as $70. I mean, it's probably about as good as it's going to get. Definitely, you are going to want, if you're not going to want to hack the thing, you're going to want at least 16 gigs. I would recommend closer to 32. If you can find a 64 gig memory card, I don't know if I recommend that because I've seen a lot of them fail, although 32 seem to do pretty well. But yeah, if you can find a decent price, I'd say if you can get a model between 100 and 150 with a memory card and a charger, doing pretty good. Upwards of that, it's totally up to you, but I wouldn't want to pay more than 150. There's another option too if you just want to play Vita games in general, don't want the portability aspect. PlayStation TV, we don't know the exact number of those that were shipped or sold, but I would probably guess under 1 million. Maybe if they were above 1 million, under 2 million for sure, but certainly not anywhere near the 15 million that supposedly the Vita sold. So they're relatively less common, but it will allow you to play your PlayStation Vita games on a TV. It's also a nice device to get with your PS Vita, but that is the only way to really play Vita games on a TV unless you're willing to hack your homebrew. But I do recommend it. It's got, so as far as features go, just so you can see this, it's got a really nice D-pad. In fact, it's my favorite mobile D-pad ever. It's got 2 analog sticks. It's got the 4 face buttons of the normal PlayStation, you know, X, O, square, and triangle. It's got a home button here. Click it to wake the screen up. There you go. It's got start and select. 2 shoulder buttons, and a pretty different kind of UI with the bubbles and whatnot. It's very different. If you open up a game on there, it kind of brings up like a game card. There's Persona 4 Golden. Very different from any other UI I've ever used, especially when you look at something like the Switch, which is, it's also simple, but not, just for the record, there's no Joy-Con drift with the PS Vita. And with games like Golden Abyss, which is like just an impressive high fidelity portable adventure in the Uncharted series, I don't know how you wouldn't want to pick up the PS Vita at this point. And they're only going to get harder to find, more expensive, and at some point you won't be able to find one cheap. It's not quite the Dreamcast. The Wii U is kind of like the modern Dreamcast. The PS Vita is going to be not quite Virtual Boy, but in that same realm where it's just that different system that existed. Albeit it has much higher quality games. Like, you can play the entire Persona series on the Vita, essentially. You got the God of War games. You got, I think, a Jak and Daxter, Ratchet. Is there Ratchet and Clank? I don't know if there's Ratchet and Clank. I've never played a Ratchet and Clank on the Vita. Borderlands 2 is running on this somehow. You've got Metal Gear Solid HD Collection. That's 2 and 3 on here. You've got the Zero Escape games. Tons and tons of great games on here. So 1,308 to be exact total games on the PS Vita, along with, you know, region exclusives. But yeah, I mean, really the only decision then is, do you get the PlayStation Vita OLED model, which, like I said, has much harder to find trigger case, or do you get the 2000 with the LCD? Main difference would be that the LED non-OLED models, batteries would be newer. But pretty much everything else across the board is the same, other than physical depth. This one's a pretty thick machine, although it's very comfortable to hold, versus the slim model, the 2000 model, which is much thinner. So I would recommend it. Get one, get the trigger case, use it for remote play with your PlayStation 4, especially if you have one. But keep in mind, it does not work with the PlayStation 5 because Sony reasons. And yeah, I pretty much exclusively play my PlayStation 4 via remote play on my PS Vita. And the library of Vita games that I own are extremely fun, very nice to play. And I have a PlayStation TV, so you know I'm really all in on this ecosystem. PlayStation TV is nice because I can remote play my PS4 downstairs on my TV right here. I know it's kind of redundant because I can do that on my computer as well, but saves me the trouble from having to run the remote play application on my PC. So yeah, get the PS Vita, get Persona 4 Golden, get Black Ops Declassified, Madden 2013, any of those games. Try it out for yourself. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll appreciate what they did back in 2012 in the United States, 2011 in Japan, even prior to the Switch existing. It's pretty impressive what Sony was able to pull off with their portable gaming division, and I really wish that there was a continued successor in the PlayStation portable line of systems. But alas, here's where we are. So anyways, if you've gotten this far into the video listening to me rant and ramble, you'll know that a certain somebody else has already covered this topic at great length recently. Mr. RGT85 picked himself up a Vita, and he was quite impressed. So go check out his video as well. I was planning to put mine out before he put his out, but since he got it first, I will give him the credit that he deserves for putting out this video and bringing attention to the PS Vita. So go check out RGT's video. He really enjoyed what he got to check out with the PlayStation Vita. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say. We'll end this video here. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you comment down below, let us know what you thought, like the video, and subscribe. I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.